Hello and welcome to Sports by Compian, Pick'em Edition. My name, of course, is Stephen Compian, and I'm joined here by my co-host, the man in charge, the man who runs this ship. He literally, like, sometimes just picks up the ship and puts it on his back and runs with it. Mr. Dan Gill himself, Mr. Shades. What's going on over there, bud?
I had to run with the nickname he gave me yesterday, so here we are.
There he is, Mr. Shades himself, and we're joined by a special guest. We mentioned earlier, both our teams are eliminated in the division rounds. We had to go find somebody who is still in this race to go ahead and break down the Baltimore Ravens for us. Chris joins the pod for the first time. Hello, Christopher. Welcome, and thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It's great. We're glad you're here. We're going to hop right into talking your Baltimore Ravens as they host the Kermit Fraud himself. The man, the future goat, as some say, the baby goat, maybe not even the baby goat anymore because he's starting to do some stuff. But either way, Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs, AFC Championship on the line. Let's hop into it, boys. Dan, what do you think about this one, man?
I'm going with Ravens on this one. Just out of the gate, we'll start there. But we talked about it. They're going up in the regular season 15 points a game. They were bringing pressure. Kansas City has not been the offense that we have seen. I've been saying it all year. I think losing Bieniemy has really put some holes in their offense to a degree. I think he was really the mastermind behind the play calling that we saw. Again, at the end of the day, look, it's still Patrick Mahomes. He's still one of the top quarterbacks in the league. So you never know what he's going to do. Players like that will take care of it. But, I don't think they've dealt with a defense that's going to bring the amount of pressure that Baltimore will bring. And with these limited options, it'll be tough for them. I did say yesterday that they broke the spell on living off of field goals in that Buffalo game because that was a concern of mine the last couple of weeks heading into the end of the regular season. But this Ravens offense isn't one that's going to let you get away with only kicking field goals. I think kicking conditions are going to be much better this weekend in Baltimore than they were in Buffalo. But, Justin Tucker's not a guy that you want to get into a kicking battle with. I think I said it a couple weeks back that I was like the Ravens, if they get to the 50, they're fine. They only have to play half a field because he has such great range.
Thanks.
So, I think it should be a good game. Right now it's 3.5 on the line to the Ravens, but I don't know where it's going to go. Unfortunately, they didn't meet up this year in the regular season and kind of give us a little bit of a preview, but one game isn't going to kind of sell me on the Chiefs because of what they struggled going into the playoffs. I don't really like to put too much stock in that Dolphins game because the Dolphins just limped their way right into the playoffs. So, we saw some very questionable performance out of them, but I just think, that, they're going to have their hands full. They have a lot of guys banged up. It is what it is, but Baltimore.
All right. And the man of the hour himself, Mr. Chris. What do you got going on here, man? What do you think? Chris, you there?
I think did he freeze? No.
Oh, he froze at the wrong time. Oh, no, Chris. You want to message him real quick while I hop into mine then? Yeah. I think this is going to be a clean sweep. As you can see from Chris's jersey there, I'm pretty sure he's going to pick Baltimore. I, too, am going Baltimore. I've been talking about this defense all year long. They didn't slow down at all getting into the playoffs. Their defense showed up strong even in that first half. They'll probably show up strong in the second half as well. They have been just absolutely, as we had mentioned, the Chiefs offense hasn't looked the same. Dan kind of nailed it all down already, kind of break this all down for you. But Lamar Jackson turned it on that second half. Apparently had some inspiring words to the boys at halftime, to get them riled up again, get them going. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. I think he's going to do more Lamar Jackson shit and lock down his MVP fan. So I don't see the Kermit Fraud pulling this off.
I mean, for what it is, if the Ravens do get off to a slow start again, I don't want to say they'll be concerned, but excuse me, sorry. I don't want to say there's concern there, but Patrick Mahomes isn't a guy that you want to leave hanging around within striking distance. So that's where that first half of the Houston game where they went into halftime tight, not concerns me, but it's kind of like if they do that with Kansas City, I think it can make things a little interesting because Buffalo. I'm sure you can say what you want about Buffalo. I don't care, but they kept each other close. Buffalo was a team that got hot at the right time, and I was expecting more out of them. But we'll see what that does to it. But it is what it is, right?
Yeah. Anyway, we had Chris briefly pop back into this, and then he failed again. But I'm sure he will be back because he does want to talk to the Baltimore Ravens. M&T Stadium is going to be loud, man. This is one of the loudest stadiums, one of the hardest places to play in the AFC.
So I saw the breakdown for like all the game day stuff. They do like legends of the game, stuff like that. So like Ed Reed, Ray Lewis are going to be their legends of the game. But the part that I got excited about is the halftime show. Well, the game ball is being delivered by Michael Phelps, the Olympian, who's from Maryland.
Cool.
But the halftime show is T-Pain.
Nice.
What a pull. T-Pain.
Yeah, I don't know who T-Pain is. Don't really care.
Really?
That's awesome.
You don't know who T-Pain is?
I've heard the name. I'm sure he's a rapper.
Cool. Come on, he said Wisconsin funny to rhyme it with things that he shouldn't have been able to rhyme it with.
Okay. Terrific. Yeah, I'm sure that'll be great for M&T Stadium. Like I said, it's going to be a loud house in there. This Chiefs defense has been strong, though. We certainly can't count them out. Lamar Jackson's going to have to bring his A game to go ahead and get through this. But I overall think, like we've mentioned, the Baltimore Ravens, Patrick Mahomes is a stud. So the dude's going to do his thing. He's going to find a way to find some holes in that defense. Question is, will it be enough? Especially against that secondary with that pass rush. Javalian Clowney might be getting himself a Super Bowl ring, which would be cool to see.
Yeah, but I did see this afternoon that the Lamar is 1-3 lifetime against Patrick Mahomes.
Oh wow, 1-3, huh?
Yeah.
Do you have an update there on Chris on what's going on with his system?
He said he's still working on it. Like he popped in.
So yeah, it's going to be a heck of a game. You love to see this. These are two of the absolute, newest studs in the NFL. It's kind of crazy how all these great quarterbacks seem to always end up in the AFC. You got Josh Allen over there, and there's Joe Burrow. You certainly can't count him out. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes.
Well, I think it's
kind of brings back to the old days of Philip Rivers, Tom Roethlisberger, and obviously Tom Brady. So it's kind of crazy that once again we're in a situation where these truly elite quarterbacks all appear to be all over in the AFC together, all fighting it out.
Well, I think it was kind of funny that everybody's like, "Oh, Mahomes, Allen, like that's the new Brady, Manning," and I'm like, "Well, it was only a couple of years ago that everybody was like, oh." The Mahomes Jackson was going to be kind of like that. So I think the trio of them is basically, Manning, Brady, Roethlisberger, all over.
And we got Chris back. Correct.
Yes.
Perfect. Hey, man.
Sorry.
Break it down for us, man. Tell us what's going to happen in this game.
Script the first 20 plays.
Man, in all honesty, I think in the beginning it's going to be back and forth. You know what I mean? I think in the beginning it's going to be back and forth, but then there's something about halftime that the Ravens just take off. And it just happens every game. It feels like I've watched every game. You know what I mean? I've watched every game that the Ravens have played this season. Haven't missed one yet, thanks to good old Sunday Ticket. And
it's great. It's a great purchase.
Yeah, man, it was especially this year, man, especially my team looking good. And to be honest with you, we could be undefeated. You take a look at the games that we lost, we shot ourselves in the foot. So,
absolutely. Yeah, that loss in Indianapolis definitely seemed like that.
and we're getting healthy at the right time. We get
Right.
Marlon Humphrey back. We get Mark Andrews back. You're telling me that we get Mark Andrews and we get Isaiah Likely? You know what I mean? Like you're
Who's
telling
burst
me,
onto the scene, man?
Yeah,
Isaiah Likely seems
exactly.
to have come out of nowhere.
He's picked up the slack with Andrews being out.
Facts. You're telling me that Dalvin Cook may be decent? You know what I mean? Like
Have some good runs.
he saw a hole. He had a couple good runs, but that's because there's an offensive line here, unlike the Jets. So I think, man, dude, you take a look at all the pieces and you just take a look at Lamar and how good he's playing. As long as he doesn't throw interceptions and he doesn't fumble the ball, which that is his Achilles heel. You know what I mean?
He loves hanging the ball out there when he runs.
Yeah, he's man, dude. There's something you learn to live and die with. It's
you got to learn how to tuck it in, man.
And he's gotten better at that. And I think he's
he
gotten
has.
better at taking those, like not taking big hits this season. So that's also helped us get to this point where he's actually healthy this season. Todd Monken's done a great job. And that trade, since we got Roquan Smith, man, go take a look at the numbers.
Still.
That was a great trade for you guys.
Yeah.
Roquan Smith really, I mean, he was decent over there in Chicago.
Listen,
but he's really coming into his own.
As a fellow Chicago native, thank you, Chicago Bears, for Roquan Smith.
For real.
Because he is a dog. He is a Raven through and through. So I'm excited to see what he does. And man, dude, we got studs all over the place. Kyle Hamilton, we got Darby, you know, Patrick Queen, Matabike's been having a great season. I just think this is one of those years where Patrick Mahomes does not have enough weapons.
Yeah.
There's not enough weapons on Patrick Mahomes' side.
But I mean,
this is not his year. I mean, of course, we've blown everybody out by 14 points or more. I mean,
it hasn't even been close these last couple games.
Yeah, and I don't feel sorry for nobody. You know what I mean?
Of course not.
And man, dude, I've been saying it. Living in Green Bay, I would have loved to see the Green Bay Packers make it all the way there just to shut them up too. I believe we have the best defense, the best all-around team, special teams, all around. I think it's great. I was upset last week we gave up a return. You know, I know Harbs is working on that. I worked on that. That was like a leak.
You guys got Mr. Special Teams, John Harbaugh.
Yeah, exactly. We got Harbaugh. You know what I mean? And I was like so surprised that there was a kick return, you know, a punt return ran back for a touchdown. I'm like, what is going on? Like,
that doesn't
our head coaches, that doesn't happen often on John Harbaugh's watch. So I was like, wow. And for that to be the only touchdown scored, that's impressive.
Absolutely.
You take a look at all last weekend, everybody else was getting scored on, and the first thing I said was, wow, there was not one offensive touchdown on us. And CJ Stroud, man, props to him. Amazing rookie season. Very impressed with him and what D'Amico Ryans and that team has done down there. But he came to the bank. It's loud in there. It's going.
No, not again.
We lost him again.
No.
No, Christopher. No, Chris. Do you think he's in Green Bay or Chicago? Because he said like two different things today. Oh, okay. I guess he's a Chicago native. Is that what it was?
I think he's from Chicago. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just jump to the next game.
Let's hope that he comes back. But yeah, I think we're going clean slate here for the Baltimore Ravens. Hopefully our boy Chris comes back to make his picks for this NFC Championship showdown. Dan Campbell and the boys. Listen, man, we're in the NFC Championship now, man. Time to really bring it, boys. Got to bite the last couple kneecaps, Dan. You're down to the last couple team kneecaps.
Can I just say something real fast?
Hit it.
I'm just glad I'm not the one freezing this week.
Dude, right? Yeah. I hope his internet gets a little better because I'd love to continue to get his insight on this. Obviously, he's been watching plenty of Ravens ball, so
might have to bring him back for the Super Bowl pick him.
Absolutely, we'll see if he can figure this out. Hopefully, but we see a pretty this offense. Looking at these statistics right here, obviously you see number 3 versus number 2. Amar St. Brown has been going off all year. Can he do it against this intense?
No, it's number 3 versus number 1.
Well, it says otherwise right here, Dan. 2 3. Took 3, 2. So I know you're usually the stats guy, but I'm here to tell you you're wrong on this occasion. For once, I'm right. Anyway.
No, that's their offensive score. I was talking about seeding.
Oh, well, okay. Either way, miscommunication there. That's what I was saying. I was saying their offenses.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about seedings. My bad.
All good. Either way, the Detroit Lions travel to San Francisco. Not an easy place to play by any means. Hopefully it's not pouring down rain this time because it definitely seemed to affect Brock Purdy and that game against Green Bay. Although he did lead that drive to go ahead and put the touchdown up. We won't get into that again.
I mean, we started playing soft, but yeah, we don't have to go back there.
Either way, 49ers defense, we mentioned, is probably the second best defense in this league, and second only to the Ravens. They have been solid all year long as well. I think maybe the best linebacker duel in the league, but probably a close comparison to Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen over there with the Ravens. So it's all pretty good defenses left in so far, except for the Lions. The Lions kind of have a weaker defense compared to some of the rest of these teams.
I mean, they do give up a lot of points.
They do give up a lot of points. The Bucs were sort of driving up and down the field a little bit, but either way, they do have Aiden Hutchinson. If they just do that, slot blitz again, it might work. Who knows? Although I'm sure the 49ers watch some film. They got Trent Williams over there. This is a hard one to pick, Dan. I want to pick the Lions with my heart, but my brain tells me it might be 49ers.
I'm going Lions.
You're going Lions? Tell me why.
Here's my thing. I think, again, the Ravens, when they beat the 49ers, they exposed them. They showed the blueprint on how to beat them. We saw it with Green Bay where they brought good pressure. They didn't handle it very well. So I think the Lions defense has the ability to bring that type of pressure and cause that issue. So, if they can keep McCaffrey contained, Debo's still listed as questionable. We'll see how much action he gets. I would imagine that he's playing. But I think the Lions defense has the ability to push that front line around and get in the backfield like we saw it against Tampa Bay. Not trying to bring things up, but if they can get to the backfield and Purdy's on the run, he's not making those throws more times than not.
No.
And, for what it was, Green Bay's defense or offense moved pretty well through their defense more times than not. Albeit the scoring just wasn't always there, but some of that was self-inflicted. But, I think the way that their offense is very simple, that they could be productive and trouble stopping the run last week. Gibbs could be a handful for him.
Yeah. Yeah, Gibbs is a handful for anyone, man. The dude is an absolute stud. I would have to agree with you there. The Lions seem to be a little more dangerous on offense, and I think I trust Jared Goff more than I trust Brock Purdy in a game like this. Not to mention, they just feel like the team of destiny, don't they, Dan? It seems like they just kind of have been rowdy since the season started, beating Kansas City Chiefs to start this whole off, and they haven't slowed down since, really, other than obviously playing the Ravens. But they seem pretty hot.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough on it. I think both teams have had.
Really thinking about this response, huh?
Sorry, I was messaging Chris. I apologize.
No, it's okay.
Funny enough, we both of these teams have played the Ravens, and both of these teams got worked by the Ravens.
Yeah.
And at the various points after those games, we didn't feel like they were the same team after.
Right.
Now I think the Lions got their things back together. Not saying the 49ers didn't. He's here, but I don't know if he's in. It doesn't look like he's in.
No. It's a bummer for him.
Yeah, I feel bad. But I think.
Sorry, Chris.
Sorry, Chris. I think though that people just started moving very well through the 49ers defense that really wasn't giving up a lot earlier in the year. Sure, their offense is very dangerous. They have a good secondary, as you mentioned yesterday. Fred Warner, Greenlaw. But, I think, Amon St. Brown is going to be an issue. Gibbs is going to be an issue.
Porter's still a little bit better with that knee.
I think they have the weapons to make it work.
They do. They're certainly dangerous. Laporta is just running on pure adrenaline and anger right now. He's not going to have the Lions crowd to keep him going this week, but he's had a couple weeks to sort of work on that knee and rehab it a little bit. And, man, he destroyed the Bucs in the middle last week. So if he can come anywhere close to that, it's going to be much harder against this 49ers middle. But, I think it's going to be a very interesting game overall. Really looking forward to that. Of the two games, I'm definitely looking forward to this one more. Gonna have to go Lions here. I would agree with you, Dan. I think I'm gonna stick with my heart. We'll go with the team of destiny, Mr. Dan Campbell himself. Hopefully, you can get the boys riled up enough for this game.
And I did mention on the show yesterday about the 66 years ago stat.
True.
That they went in there, took care of business.
Very true.
And yeah, so history could repeat itself. Probably now. But
could happen.
Could happen. But I think the Lions are just moving too well right now.
Yeah.
I think they're a hot hand that people don't want to recognize.
They're playing some fine football right now, and I think if they can get Brock Purdy uncomfortable, Deebo Samuel isn't able to go for this game, the 49ers can find themselves in a lot of problems very quickly.
Even if he's on limited use in that game, they could find themselves in trouble.
100%. That Jennings did step up in the game against the Packers, so who knows? We'll keep an eye on that. Christian McCaffrey. So I'm sure the robot, as Mike Buslinger described him, is probably going to do some stuff because he is a robot. He doesn't have a ring yet, so he's eager. He's eager to get this done and get himself a ring, which would actually be kind of cool to see. Kettle doesn't have a ring yet either. There's a couple guys over there, been around for a while, been high at their positions, and I think they desperately want this almost as much as the Lions do. We'll have to see how it all works out. Jared Goff revitalized by the Detroit City. You reckon Chris is going to make it back on?
No.
I don't reckon that either. Unfortunately, Chris, we really appreciate having you on. Hopefully we can figure out your internet for next time. Maybe just pull it up on your phone or something. But either way, so we're both going Lions in this one. Is that correct, Dan?
Correct.
And obviously, a rumor that just hit today, which Dan went ahead and reached out to us. The fellow Harbaugh is back. Oh, there he is. Nice, just in time.
I was joining from the phone now.
Love it.
What's going on with the PC? Yeah.
Hey, to wrap up what you were saying about the Ravens there. So you're picking them. Anything else you were going to say about that?
No, nothing else. Nothing else to say about that.
Cool. What do you guys say about this NFC Championship matchup?
Man, I like the upset. I like Detroit.
We both went Detroit.
Dan Campbell has this team playing on all cylinders, and you're telling me that Deebo is going to be banged up, and Brock Purdy looked a little iffy.
Sure did.
Yeah.
They're going to bring the pressure.
Jared Goff's been there. He's done this before. So we can't say he hasn't done this. You know what I mean?
True.
It's
very true.
He's the more seasoned quarterback, if you really think about it.
Yep.
And I think that Detroit squeaks this out. But, I think Detroit wins.
Yeah, I think that's a fair call. We were talking about all the weapons they got over there. Laporta's had another couple weeks to rest his knee.
Gibbs looked amazing last week.
Gibbs was fantastic. I raved about him coming out in the draft. And, man, I was glad to see him put on a good game because he was showing out. He reminded me of Alvin Kamara coming out.
Okay.
Yeah. Fair stuff.
Yeah, I think that they just have the momentum behind them right now, and why not?
Why not Detroit?
Yeah, and if Green Bay, can come in there and make that kind of noise.
Well, like I said, I think the Ravens built the blueprint on how to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
and Green Bay followed. They brought the pressure. They, up front, moved that line around. And I think that the Detroit Lion is good to do that themselves.
Oh, yeah. You're telling me Aiden Hutchinson can't go out there and do the same thing?
He's going to go eat their lunch.
He has the most sacks, the most pressure so far here in the playoffs. And they just won the championship. It just seems like Michigan is rolling right now.
Yeah, Michigan, man, the entire state of Michigan. Wow.
Dude, look, people thought Philly was going to burn to the ground. Detroit might burn to the ground if they win this whole thing.
Yeah, apparently it was quite a lively situation there.
Yeah, if Detroit wins this whole thing, holy shit, hell might freeze over.
And they got to win because otherwise that old man might die without ever seeing the Lions win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Sad days.
Yeah.
But it wasn't their last NFL championship, though.
Exactly.
Which way? They beat San Francisco in San Francisco for that NFL championship. So
stats, man. It's crazy.
I do like Detroit. Detroit looks good, man. And CMC's banged up too, right? Like he's banged up too.
He was putting work in to get through that game last week.
The dude looked like he was giving him some type of hand job over there, but apparently it was a thigh job. So you gotta stay PG out.
Look, you gotta work up to it. Okay, you gotta buy him dinner first.
Dude, that was the funniest thing. You see that dude just go to town on his thigh. Eventually, you see Christian McCaffrey in front of the massage gun. He was like, "That was too weird. I'm just gonna do it myself now."
Oh man, that's terrible.
We mentioned a couple veterans over there for 49ers are definitely going to give them a fight for their money. Kettle still doesn't have a ring. Christian McCaffrey obviously looking for his first ring. Trent Williams. Does Trent Williams have one? I don't think he does either, right?
Nah, he came from
Washington.
Washington,
they
right?
Sure as heck weren't winning anything.
But no, they do still have a good defense in there with Warner and Greenlaw leading that secondary. So it's still no sneeze. We'll see if Bosa and Young step up at this point.
Yeah.
They really need to do.
They were getting cracked by Green Bay receivers all night.
Oh, I know.
Talk about though a game of the trenches that I don't think a lot of people are going to be paying attention to. But if you like football as much as we like football, Penei Sewell and Nick Bosa, that is going to be a matchup down there. Like if you're paying attention. Oh my gosh, man! Talk about some good hand-on-hand combat down there. I want to see who's going to be walking away from that one. Nick Bosa's been having a great season. Penei Sewell is one of the greatest tackles in the game. So
absolutely,
that's going to be fun to watch.
And on the other side, you got Eric Decker and Young. So that's going to be a heck of a matchup on both sides.
Oh yeah.
They absolutely shut down all the edge rushers from the Buccaneers. Not that we have anyone nearly as good as Young or Nick Bosa, but both those tackles are absolute studs. So I'll be surprised. We'll see what happens, man. It's going to be a heck of a game.
Oh yeah,
I'm definitely looking forward to this one a little bit more than the AFC matchup, just because I think it's going to be a little closer.
I feel the same way too. Like I said, with the way the Ravens have been blown out, all these 500+ teams. By 14 or more points.
Right.
I just suspect it's going to be the same thing there. And then the NFC Championship game will honestly be the best game. Thankfully, it's at night. It'll be a nice little nightcap for everybody because I think it's going to come down to a kick.
Right now, the line is San Francisco by 7.
By 7?
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see.
I would have flipped the Ravens line and this line.
Yeah, I would have flipped lines on that. I just don't see it. I think Detroit is much better than what people are thinking.
Over under 50.5.
That could be, but I really might hop on this Lions line. That sounds pretty great.
That Lions line does sound pretty good.
Yeah, it might be a nice little moneymaker for everyone to end out our betting season as we come towards a close here.
Sad days, man.
Sad days, guys. The NFL's wrapping up.
Couple parlays.
Hey, look, we still got things to bet on. It's okay.
Do you think FanDuel is going to be doing United Football League?
Probably.
I listen. I tell you right now that Prize Picks is. All right, Prize Picks got everything. Yeah, okay. Prize Picks got everything, man.
I've been hearing a lot about Prize Picks. I might look into that.
I enjoy Prize Picks.
Do they do MLR?
No, but they do, man, dude. They do freaking horseback riding. They do. Bro, we're talking tennis at like 4 a.m.
Dude, no,
like
they said during COVID the number one betting thing was ping pong.
I believe it, bro. Bro,
I'm not kidding.
You can bet how long somebody's gonna be on the ice on hockey.
Yeah.
I mean, you name it, man. You can make a bet. And
look, I'm just waiting for the prop bets for the Super Bowl.
Could be a lot.
How long the national anthem is, what color is the Gatorade.
I love those.
Is it heads or tails?
Oh.
There's definitely a lot of prop bets coming up for that
Tails
one.
never fails, right? Tails never fails?
I always go heads.
I mean,
wow.
Well, look, if you're not, here's the philosophy. I saw it on Pat McAfee when he lost the coin toss, and he was like, tails never fails. And I forget who on India it was. He goes, always pick head, because if you wouldn't bet on your own head, who else will?
And
I'm like, old, done.
No, okay.
That's pretty decent.
I just changed out my whole outlook on that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we had clean sweeps on all these picks. Boys, any last words here for the fine people of Sports by Compion?
Just buckle up, man. Here we go.
Buckle up. It's going to be some good times.
Enjoy these last 3 games of the season.
Indeed. Chris, are you paying attention to some United Football League?
I will be paying attention to that. Yes, I will be. I'm excited to see what spring football holds for us. Like,
yeah,
more football. I mean, come on now. You can never get enough.
No,
Can't be mad about that, man. And it should be back better than ever. Should be some of the best now with, a little bit more condensed teams now. Should be really good.
And I guess this is time. Maybe we can put it out there, but we will be doing a pick'ems for United Football League.
I'm down.
Absolutely. Great. We'd love to have you back on. You've been absolutely awesome. Sorry we lost you there briefly, but your analysis on the Ravens was great.
And what a find that we found in Green Bay that day.
I know. And you know what it was? It was just the smell of Mary Jane that brought my boy over to us.
Facts, man.
You gotta love it, man. My boy just felt like a dog. He's like, hey, where's that coming from?
It was just good camaraderie, man. It was just
hell yeah.
I was just basking in the Green Bay loss, and Baker Mayfield. I was Baker Mayfield came to show out that day, and man, there was just a couple of us Ravens fans, and the first thing I said was, man, Joe Barry got torched, got fired today.
Hey, look,
I never looked on the man's shortcomings.
I'm surprised he lasted that long. Sometimes.
Me too, man. Joe Barry got torched that game, and you got torched by the Panthers.
That was rough.
As somebody that is used to seeing good defense, I remember sitting in my seat saying before we left, and late in that game, saying, y'all want to see some good defense? Watch the Ravens game tonight against Miami. And what happened?
Yeah, that was good defense. I think you can find good defense all year watching the Ravens, man. They've been just dismantling
watch
teams.
Ravens football. So,
as we mentioned while you were briefly gone, that the Ravens have kind of had their way with both these NFC teams here, and neither one recovered very well.
Lamar's record against NFC teams is 19-1. So,
oh shoot.
I mean, take a look at the best winning percentages at a quarterbacks right now. Is Patrick Mahomes 1, Lamar 2.
Wow.
When Lamar's healthy, it's hard to stop him, man. And I'm just happy he's healthy. I'm happy we got Todd Monken. Man, I don't want to see any of our coordinators leave because I think we could run it back. I think we could run it back again. Okay. Like, I really think this team is ready for the Super Bowl, is going to win, and then next year we could run it back because it's not like we really got to pay too many people. We already paid Lamar.
Very well could be. And one person we didn't talk about, Odell Beckham Jr., kind of quiet in these playoffs, but you might be waiting for the right moment, which could be these next 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, man, dude, we tore. That was that game he had a coming out party too.
against Detroit. So yeah.
It's going to be a heck of a matchup. We got some good stuff coming up. As Dan mentioned, Pick'em is going down for United Football League. Six Nations is around the corner. If you're trying to pay attention to some rugby there, Chris. But either way, it's going to be some good stuff. Sports by Conference fans, stay tuned. It won't be the NFL, which we will all thoroughly miss. But there is still Impact Sports. There is still violence going on in UFC. It's just good times out there, people. Keep paying attention. Keep liking and subscribing to our content. Take care. We're out.